At the end of May, the Free Gaza Organization and the fundamentalist Islamic IHH movement launched a flotilla of ships to the port of Gaza under the pretext of humanitarian aid. However, its real objective was to create a provocation on the high seas, to confront the State of Israel and its army, and to violate the naval blockade of the Gaza Strip.
نحن جئنا لنكسر الحصار أولاً ثم لنقدم الإغاثات المختلفة. أولاً كسر الحصار.
Like when I went first convoy, I wanted to be a shaheed. I wasn't that lucky. Third time lucky, inshallah, I'll be shaheed.
Gaza has been under naval and land closure since the Hamas takeover of the Gaza Strip in order to prevent the trafficking of weapons and other material employed by the Hamas to manufacture rockets and missiles to be used against Israel. However, throughout this time, Israel has continued daily deliveries of food and medicines to Gaza. On average, 100 delivery trucks make their way from Israel to the Gaza Strip every day. During the past 2 months, Israel has delivered to the Gaza Strip over 1,200 tons of medicines, 155 tons of food, 2,900 tons of clothing and footwear, and nearly 17 million litres of diesel fuel. These facts contradict the false claim that Gaza Strip residents are experiencing a humanitarian crisis. The transfer of goods from Israel to the Gaza Strip is ongoing, despite the many attempts by Hamas to stop them through a string of terror attacks at the Israel-Gaza border. Acting on a decision by Israel's political leadership, its army and navy prepared to prevent the flotilla from reaching Gaza, while offering its organizers and passengers the opportunity to either turn back or to dock at the Israeli port of Ashdod, where the cargo would be unloaded, undergo security inspection, and be transferred to Gaza.
If you unload your cargo in Israel, we'll make sure that every single humanitarian item reaches the people of Gaza. If you're really concerned about the people of Gaza, let's stop talking politics and talk about transferring humanitarian aid. Unfortunately, it appears that that's not what you're interested in. You're interested in a cheap political stunt, and that's not going to help anyone, least of all the people of Gaza.
The commander of Israel's Navy, Vice Admiral Eliezer Marom, instructed his forces to take all necessary steps to safeguard the lives of civilians and soldiers alike.
אין לנו שום כוונה לפגוע באף אחד מהאנשים האלה. וביחד עם זאת יש לנו משימה מאוד מאוד ברורה לבצע.
Okay, what is your next port?
My next port, Gaza.
Mavi Marmara, you are approaching an area of hostilities, which is under a naval blockade. The Israeli government supports delivery of humanitarian supplies to the civilian population in the Gaza Strip and invites you to enter the Ashdod port, after which you can return to your home ports aboard the vessels on which you arrived.
Yeah, shut the fuck up. Go back to Auschwitz.
We're helping Arabs going against the U.S. Don't forget 9/11, guys.
After all calls to halt the flotilla were rejected, naval troops acted to take control of the 6 vessels attempting to break the naval blockade. 5 of the 6 boats were apprehended with only passive resistance from the activists on board. However, the Turkish ship Mavi Marmara, carrying 561 demonstrators, including dozens of terrorists and mercenaries from Turkey and other Muslim countries, the troops encountered extreme violence from well-organized and armed radical activists.
כל אדם שירד, לקחו אותו 3-4 אנשים ופשוט פיצצו אותו במכות, עשו עליהם לינץ'. כולם שם היו עם עלות מתכת, סכינים, באיזשהו שלב גם היה ירי חי, ירו עלינו כדורים, כאילו נשק אמיתי. התחילו להרביץ לי עם העלות מתכת, נעשה כך שרדתי את היד כנראה.
איפה הכלים שלנו? סליל. אין פה. אתה רואה אותה?
The soldiers were attacked with knives, clubs and other cold weapons that had been prepared in advance, as well as with gunfire from weapons that were wrested from them. Since the operation to stop the flotilla took place, and up to the making of this film, Israeli information services have distributed dozens of videos and photos that expose the flotilla organizers' true intent. In fact, the images make it clear that this extreme, violent resistance was well planned, and that there was a premeditated attempt to lynch the soldiers in the boarding party. From the moment they rappelled onto the ship's upper deck from their helicopters, the troops encountered extreme violence and were attacked with cold weapons. At this stage, they reacted with the rubber bullets and paint guns prepared for the operation, normally used to disperse demonstrations. When a firebomb exploded near the troops and one soldier was stabbed and thrown onto the ship's lower deck, and only after 2 of the troops' pistols were wrested from them and turned against them, did the soldiers open fire in self-defense. As a result, 9 of the radical activists who attacked the troops were killed and 27 others wounded.
Rubber bullet, even shot by a rubber bullet. Like plastic bullet.
7 of the Israeli troops participating in the Mavi Marmara operation were also wounded, from gunfire and cold weapons. About 12 hours after the incident began, all 6 vessels of the flotilla were docked at the port of Ashdod. All passengers disembarked for security checks and were then transferred to the Ministry of the Interior and Immigration authorities in order to return them to their countries of origin.
IHH הוא ארגון אלים וקיצוני שתומך בארגוני טרור תחת כיסוי של פעילות הומניטרית ואין לו דבר וחצי דבר עם סיוע הומניטרי.
מה שהתרחש על האונייה מרמרה איננו דומה למה שהתרחש ב5 האוניות האחרות. חיילים פעלו כמתבקש בסיטואציה הזאת.
The operation to take control of the flotilla followed the failure of numerous direct and indirect diplomatic and military contacts with foreign governments and organizations. The flotilla's organizers were clearly told that they would be allowed to dock in Ashdod, unload the supplies and equipment they had on board, and have them transferred in an organized fashion to the Gaza Strip. Only after the flotilla organizers made it clear that they had no intention of cooperating in any way was the decision made to take control of the ships at sea in accordance with international law, which grants a country the right to stop a hostile vessel that declares its intent to break a state-imposed blockade. This outcome could have been avoided were it not for the extreme violence on the part of the activists, the injuries they caused, and the clear threat they posed to the lives of Israeli troops.